People love adhering to labels as a way to set themselves apart from everyone else. There's no shortage of these labels because where there is exclusivity, there is a label. As you may or may not know, I abide by the glorious title of TikTok hater, and as advertised, I actually just hate TikTok. I think this platform sucks, and it sucks fat donkey dick. Objectively, TikTok and I share a love-hate relationship where I love all the cringe content that curses my eyes whenever I go on that cesspool of a website. And it's like I can feel TikTok rot building every time I pass one of my YouTube shorts. But I just can't get enough of it. I feel like some sort of
you guys literally sound like
what's the word for it?
abuse victims, right?
Anyways, TikTok has had its grip on my balls recently with this trend called POV TikToks, though it's actually not that recent. It's been out for a long time, but for some reason it's still alive and kicking even today. It's pretty much where the TikToker in question acts out a movie-esque scenario with 1,000,000% less budget and talent. Though there is an upside to this whole thing, they are actually very inclusive. They get the viewer involved. You asshole, you get to play the role of a lobotomized zombie, because that is what you have to be in order to stomach the cringe that comes from watching these TikToks. But of course, I understand not everyone has a war-hardened stomach like I do, so I took it upon myself to handle these radioactive products to show you exactly how shitty it is. A big one that blew up a while back was the getting arrested POV. As you can already imagine, it's a scenario where you, presumably their partner, are forced to watch as your hot and hunky significant other is taken away by the police for an undisclosed crime.
Put your goddamn hand behind your back. Please don't resist this.
He sounds like he's shitting himself.
Please don't resist this shit. Oh, he winked at her. What the? Alright, put your goddamn hands behind your back. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an appeal.
Get your hands off
getting
me.
arrested.
My dad's
on your back.
Boys! Curses.
I love you.
Les poils étaient pignons, les vitons j'étais, et les jantons les oppas, les chichons l'étaient.
For some reason, it's always the most sheltered looking dudes who get arrested. Like, you can tell they've never gone to sleep hungry in their lives. You mean to tell me this guy, this pussy boy, is a hardened criminal? I spit on you. Honestly, this guy just looks like a bad hangover. He looks like the shitty Tinder date that every girl seemingly has. He looks like the personification of tennis. He looks like he would choose to go on a dinner with Jay-Z. I mean, come on, man. He looks like a clean Machine Gun Kelly. I can't believe in this face. Also, I think the funniest part about this is that he looks worried about going to jail. As if he wasn't an attractive white boy. After all, according to the High Court of TikTok, any semi-good-looking Caucasian teen boy should walk free no matter how bad the crime. And I'm not making this shit up either. It's written in case law. The most recently famous case we got is this guy who killed a mother and child in a street racing accident. I should note, though, that he has had a history before of reckless driving and speeding, even before the accident. So this means that not only has he made this mistake before, he also didn't learn from it. What a fucking piece of shit, right? Wrong. Shockingly, he had a whole entourage of TikTok supporters despite everything that he's done. I like to believe they didn't know any better because it seems as if they genuinely believe he's too good looking to serve the full sentence for turning a mother and child into red paste. I mean, TikTok is just fucking great, honestly. Like, see, this is what I hate about TikTok so much, is that they focus on the wrong things to be serious and outraged about, but the things that are actual crimes even sometimes, they take so long to respond to it. For example, only Jayus and what's her name? I'm gonna search her up here. And Jellybean. People were on only Jayus's ass for a long fucking time for things that she said a couple of years back. I don't get why people cancel others over shit that they said years ago. I could understand maybe a couple of months ago. That's pretty recent, right? Like, you couldn't have changed that much in a couple of months, but in years? Dude, I'm pretty sure not everyone is the same person as they were even fucking last year, much less 3 to 4 years ago. or I don't know about these figures. I'm just pulling it out of my ass right now. Maybe it's even shorter, maybe it's longer. I just know it's in increments of years. And sure, she said horrible shit, but again, the argument stands. She said that shit years ago. She's a completely different person now, and I don't know why it's so hard to accept that people change over time. It's a wild concept. And I mean, Jellybean, poor old Jellybean, right? She makes pretty cringe content. I don't watch them. I don't like them. But should everybody have clowned on her? Absolutely fucking not. Like, dude, she's just a kid trying to make content. And hey, she's being successful at it. So what is there to hate? She's not attacking other people. She's not being racist, right? Like, she's just a fucking kid making content for kids. And adults are getting mad over that. It's fucking wild. Now let's look over to the other side of the spectrum, EDP. EDP445 was allowed back on TikTok for long enough for it to catch fire and for a bunch of YouTubers to make videos about him. If my memory serves right, his page was up for a couple of days before being taken down, which is honestly just questionable on part of the TikTok moderators. Why was he allowed to stay up for that long? I mean, you would think as soon as they caught fire of this, they would have just banned him straight up. They would have just sent him to the Shadow Realm as soon as possible. But I guess, I don't know, they must have been on a coffee break or something. The fact that this was allowed to happen by TikTok moderators for a couple of days, this tells me they don't really prioritize the security of these kids very much. I wouldn't feel safe putting my kid on that platform. If somebody like EDP is allowed to be back on there for a couple of days, I don't even know the amount of people that they've let slip under the radar because they just weren't big enough. I genuinely believe these people just got their information from other TikToks and didn't bother to confirm it for themselves. Thank God the court haven't changed their minds. As far as I know, they've kept him in jail right where he belongs, and his 24-year mark seems solid. I have never been so happy that so many people's voices didn't matter. I know I kind of went on a rant there, so I want to bring this back to my main point here. If you want to immerse the audience into a story, you got to make the details at least somewhat believable. In this case, you got to look like a criminal. As the watcher, I shouldn't have to do a lot of guesswork. Put a gray shirt on or something, shave your head, wear a fake goatee,
falsely copyright YouTube videos as a way to silence criticism.
Show us that you're an egotistical piece of shit who should be arrested before trying to make my pussy wet. Come on, man. There's steps to this, Jesus. Another big favorite of mine is the Power POV. It's a similar premise to the previous concept that we've covered, but this time you get to play the role of Jack Dawson. After becoming a popsicle, this time the TikToker seems to be holding you hostage as they do their thing. Usually in these TikToks, they either get their powers at a certain age or they already have their power and they show how they interact with others using this power.
Are you ready to find out what your power is? Yes, dude. Let's go. All right. 3, 2, 1. What?
Now, this man that you see before you is Ian Boggs. He's an absolute juggernaut of a content creator. He's rocking 4.83 million subscribers on YouTube, and he has a death grip on TikTok with 11.3 million followers. This man is what 3 inches is. Absolutely gigantic. And if we look at this kaiju content creator's bread and butter, it seems to be the POV TikTok. The large majority of his recent content is just a whole flood of POVs of different variations. POV, I sat on your face. POV, I gave you pink eye. POV, you're at the doctor's office. You know, it's saga-like in its nature. And for this particular TikTok that I'm showing you, it is part of his series, The Pill of Superpowers. More specifically, it's part of season 1 of his series. What color did my eyes glow?
Orange.
Sick. That means I'll be able to control fire.
What about mine?
They glowed purple, dude. I don't know if that means anything.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys hear about Ian? Yeah, his eyes turned purple?
What does that even mean?
Oh no, is he a simp? Shut up! Yes, sir. Okay. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. Wait, what just happened? Welcome back from summer break, everyone. Here's an easy refresher. What's 9 plus 10?
21.
Oh my god, Ian. Oh, I'm so sick of your shit, man. My wife just left me yesterday, and I don't have any time for your shit. You don't have any superpowers. You just haven't taken your man. It seems that he wants to expand this series into a bigger one. For obvious reasons, I can't just show you the entirety of the series itself, so I will have to give you spoilers on what happens next. I'll give you some time to click off of the video or to skip forward ahead right now. Okay, I'm assuming you skipped ahead, but if you didn't already know, I mean, if it wasn't already obvious too by what I just showed you, he's gonna fight the Avengers later on.
That is America's ass.
So it seems to me that he's riding on this wave to be part of a bigger Marvel project. Who knows, maybe he'll be the next Simu Liu, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. What do you think? Do you think he's fit to be part of our Marvel lineup? Comment down below. So as you can tell, they seem to take great inspiration from those Reddit fanfics where everyone claps at the end and it's totally 100% real. Though I would argue these POVs are less shitty because they actually try to sell you what they're peddling. Like for example, you can see them putting on different costumes, different contact lenses. Sometimes they even add special effects. Like you can tell they put effort into making these. However, the major issue that I find with these TikToks is that they're loading up Chekhov's gun, but they never fire it. What I mean is that so much information is being introduced to you all at once, and they're all irrelevant by the end of the video. So the punchline of the story just falls flat on its ass. It's like they're jerking you off, but they keep picking their nose once in a while, so you keep getting distracted and you don't get to that release point. It's honestly a frustrating experience. Here, let's take a look at this video here. The basic premise seems to be that we live in a society that's overpopulated, so the government is forced to mandate eye colors to determine who will be killed and who will stay alive. There's red and there is blue. You can figure out which one is which. However, get this, our main character has one green eye. Hold on, which eye was it? Here, this one? I think it was on the right eye. Has one green eye. Green eye. So the entire first episode of this trilogy is centered around figuring out what this green eye means. Let's take a look. Did you catch that? She is actually the long-lost princess who the random government worker recognized, but no one else, not even her friends or family, did. So there's no plot holes here yet. Then here we go to the second episode, which is mostly just world building, but this is where things start to get wacky. After finding out our main character is the long lost princess, they dress her in fancy clothes, they pamper her, everyone adores her. Ella's getting stressed out by the sudden clout, pretty bog standard stuff. But here comes the one and only Angela. The Angela who we 100% know from the very first episode because she's totally been brought up before in the first episode. Matter of fact, this character is so fleshed out. I know the color of her butthole. And I know this because if you look very closely at this particular frame in our main character's green eye, you can see her spread eagling her asshole as they're talking. So this means that she's bent over right now and she's just spreading ass cheeks. When she talks, it's not actually her mouth talking. It's her chocolate starfish. What the fuck? So she's going like this.
Angela, is that you? Yes, it's me.
That is some deep ass lore. And also a deep ass, you feel me? Angela is here to tell our main character that the whole eye color thing is fake. A lie. A fraud. It's false. No way.
It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction.
Pretty much Angela is busting it wide open right now. She is spreading her ass cheeks along with the plot, and she's letting out a stinky one on our main character. Unfortunately, she gets shot dead for her digressions, but what a clutch play from Angela, huh? That was on par with Ray Allen's corner 3 in Game 6 of the finals.
Rebound Bosch, back out to Allen, his three-pointer, bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining!
My God, dude. You will always be remembered. But good thing we won't have to remember her for long because she gets brought back on the 3rd episode of this series. Let's go, baby! Alright, so I just wanted to interject here real quick. For some fucking reason, she chose camouflage as her text color. It's so fucking hard to read the text on the screen, even without it being distorted to shit like this. Turn the opacity down, girl. God damn! It turns out she wasn't shot dead somehow, and she is just in time to rescue and escape with our main character to California. Unfortunately, the DEA is one step ahead and they manage to get the better of our two girls, and for the sake of shock, one of the feds turns out to be main character Chan's mom. I hope you also feel as if your nipples are being chafed right now, because that's exactly what's happening. There is so much movement going on that it's become detrimental to the story. These little plot twists at the end are strategically placed so that you are forced to go to the next video to figure out what happens next. But it fails at doing even that. Plot twists are supposed to subvert our expectations, which is what causes us to go through that whole process that I just outlined. In this case, there isn't anything to establish an expectation on because everything is flying 1,000 miles, and many, if not all of the details that are presented at the start of the video become irrelevant by the end of it, so it becomes futile to become invested anyways. What it does is that it only adds more questions on top of the ones you already have, and it won't answer it by the end of it. It becomes a frustrating cycle. Why was one of the feds main character Chan's mom? Where and when was Angela introduced? What the hell's the point of the green eye? You still haven't answered that. You see, instead of moving on to the next part of the story, I'm still stuck here processing what just happened. And now you're adding more questions that you won't answer? Dude, fuck that. I'm gonna go watch something else. I guess the root of my criticism is, why undertake such a large story only to tell it through TikTok? It's like Shaq with his wife. You could try to fit, but it's not gonna be a pleasant experience.
Oh, that feels great. Oh, that feels great. I'm so glad.
I would suggest doing something smaller to highlight your acting chops. I bet you're pretty good at it too, so why not play to your strengths? In my opinion, POV done right is somebody like Caitlin Riley. If you actually watch her videos, you will see that she doesn't go too crazy with the storylines. She introduces just enough details so that there's a satisfying payoff at the end. You essentially get what you paid for. Annoying characters would be hated, tragic characters would be pitied, and cringy characters would be cringed at. Right? There's a cause and effect. You never get blindsided with new and irrelevant information. In this way, all of your questions are answered, and you feel satisfied clicking on her next video. At the end of the day, I don't take these TikToks that seriously. It's honestly just content for me. I think these TikTokers are just suckling on the massive bosom of fantasy/superhero media, and honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, superhero/fantasy genres tend to be very successful in children, which is a large majority of the users in TikTok. So if anything, they're making a smart play to not only get clout, but also maybe even join bigger projects, like a Marvel film. Who knows, right? Hey, you're free to get your bag, queen. I'm not gonna impede on your hustle. But just know, my sister in Christ, you look fucking wacky chasing it.